In this session, I want to talk about the remaining consonant sounds. There are 3 nasal sounds and 2 affricates, 1 lateral, and 3 approximants, etc. Though I have talked about nasal sounds earlier, I would like to say something about these nasal sounds because I haven't described them in detail earlier. Now, the first nasal sound, the place of articulation, 2 lips, 2 lips. Manner of articulation, unrestricted flow of airstream through nose, and the quality is voiced. The sound is called bilabial voiced nasal consonant. Example words: man, immune, name. As this is not a difficult sound, I am not giving you more examples. Next, second nasal sound. Place of articulation, alveolar ridge. The tongue tip of the tongue touches the teeth ridge, that is back part of the upper teeth. And manner of articulation is nasal. The tip of the tongue stops the airstream at the alveolar ridge, so then the airstream is allowed to pass through the nose. And the quality is voiced. So this is called alveolar voiced nasal consonant. Example words: name, night, manly, run, ban, chin. Third nasal sound is ng. Place of articulation is velum. Manner of articulation is nasal, as the above 2 nasal sounds, and the quality is voiced. This sound is called velar voiced nasal consonant sound. This sound generally or never occurs in the beginning. Most of the time it occurs at the end place in a word, as in these words: sing, ring, bang. Right? Next, ha. This is the fricative sound. This is the fricative sound which has no voiced counterpart. The other fricatives, 8 fricatives, that is 4 pairs, have voiceless and voiced pairs. So they have voiceless and voiced sounds. But here this ha is a lone fricative without voiced counterpart. Place of articulation, glottis. Manner of articulation, fricative. Quality, voiceless. This is called a glottal voiceless fricative. The sound has no voiced counterpart like the previous voiceless fricatives. Example words: he, his, heat, hen, behive, behest. More words for practice: hence, high, height, horse, house, behave, behind. Next, affricates. There are only 2 affricates, ch and j. An affricate is a consonant sound that begins as a stop and releases as a fricative at the same place of articulation. It is something like between a plosive sound and a fricative sound. Place of articulation, Tip of the tongue touches the place between teeth ridge and hard palate. Manner of articulation affricate. Quality unvoiced or voiceless. This is called palato-alveolar voiceless affricate. Example words cheat, chief, mischief, bench, cinch. More words for practice: lunch, wrench, chess, chest, kerchief. Then j. Place of articulation as in the case of ch. Manner of articulation affricate, quality voiced. So this sound is called palato-alveolar voiced affricate. Listen to these words: just, judge, budget, ledger, bridge, huge. More words for practice: just, justice, gent, regent, legend, siege, ridge. Next, there is one lateral sound, l. L. Place of articulation, teeth ridge. Tip of the tongue touches here, and the air stream is stopped but allowed to escape through the sides, laterals of the tongue. And the manner of articulation is lateral because the sound, the air stream escapes at the sides of the tongue. Quality voiced. This is called alveolar voiced lateral. Listen to these words: less, lie, relent, silent, bell, and hell. More words for practice: large, loud, low, lend, relay, delay, sell, mal, malt, belt, shell. Then approximants. There are 3 approximants in English sounds. They are r, v, and e. Note: approximants are speech sounds that involve the articulators, that is, speech organs, coming closer, not stopping the airstream, but allowing it to flow out freely. Therefore, approximants fall between fricatives and vowels. R is also called frictionless continuant, and V and E are called semivowels. Now let us take up R sound. R. Place of articulation post-alveolar. Manner of articulation approximant or frictionless continuant. Quality voiced. The sound is called post-alveolar voiced approximant. Listen to these words: rat, red, right, carriage, marriage. Note the following words. These words contain letter R but not pronounced: part, car, beer. R sound is not pronounced in these words, but in a word, if a vowel sound follows, it is pronounced, as in the case of these words: clarity, marry, carry, lorry. Right. Then, wa sound. Place of articulation: 2 lips and velum. 2 lips come together and form a round shape, like that. And the velum part, the back of the tongue touches the velum part and obstructs the air stream to enter the nasal cavity. Manner of articulation is approximant, quality voiced. So this sound is called labio-velar voiced approximant. So listen to these words: wine, with, white, wait, we strong form, we weak form, rewind, beware. More words for practice: word, wound, wind, wire, way, bewitch, between, betwixt. Note: v is labiodental voiced fricative sound, while w is bilabial velar voiced approximant. Practice these minimal pairs with v and v. Wine, vine, veil, veil, went, went, viper, viper, why, why. W as in wound, v as in five. W is also called a semivowel because while articulating this sound w, the initial sound is very close to u. That's why it is called semivowel. And there is another reason to call it semivowel because the air stream during the articulation of this sound flows freely, unrestricted, as in a vowel sound. Next is ya. Place of articulation: hard palate. The front or central part of the tongue almost touches the hard palate. Manner of articulation: approximant or frictionless continuant. Quality: voiced. This sound is called palatal voiced approximant. Listen to these words: you, youth, young, union, unique, beyond. More words for practice: yes, yet, universe, unity, use, urine, yell, yellow, yonder, yacht, yak. Note: y is considered as a semivowel sound because while articulating this sound, initial sound is something like e. Listen carefully: ya, ya. That's why it is called semivowel. Again, as I said earlier, in the case of w sound, the air stream flows out unrestricted, as in a vowel sound. So ya and w, semivowels, in the sense the air stream passes out freely, as in the case of vowel sounds, right?